Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the FV4005 Stage II. It's the Tier 10 British tank destroyer. It's located on the westbourne of Studzianki Encounter, and this one is under the command of Awppenheimer. Now, he's not particularly fond of this vehicle, but I know a player who really is fond of it, and that's Steve Walst. And yes, he's got the steampunk skin that goes with it, which is actually quite smart. Actually, it also makes the noises of a chugging steam train. Basically, this is a Centurion Mark III with a very strange turret on, because it's got the 183mm main gun, which is enclosed in a turret with some armor around the outside. Now, this is the Stage 2. The Stage 1 actually didn't have the armor around the outside, and of course the stage armor is very thin indeed, super thin. It's 14mm and all around, so which makes this a primary target if you happen to be in an Arty, because if you penetrate that turret, then you will get a whopping great score. Now, it normally fires HESH rounds, and that's what Arty has loaded, or Awppenheimer has loaded. 10 rounds of HESH actually, and he's actually starting off with them straight away. Now, these are capable of doing 1750 alpha, and they penetrate 230mm of armor, and even if they don't actually penetrate, they've got a blast radius of 5.5 meters as well, because it is effectively HESH. It's high explosive squash head, so it acts like high explosive if it does pen. Or we could hit that super conk through the gap. He's not doing it. If he does fire now, he'll probably only track the guy, but I think he's waiting to see the engine, and he wipes him out. Actually, I think he was waiting for the guy to drop a few hit points so he could take him out with just one shot. 1187 hit points from that shot alone, and he got the spotting assist off that one as well. Now, there are two prototypes to this vehicle. He decided not to shoot there because he didn't have a clear shot on the Progetto, but he might have if they come into sight further along. Yes, I said they built two prototypes. Effectively, just it was one hull but two turrets. Oh, he's got another one. The Progetto went back along the same route, and he got him for 1604 hit points. This is what this tank is designed to do, just wipe out enemy tanks. In fact, it was designed to kill IS-3s at very long range, because of course the British didn't have a proper heavy tank that could match the IS-3. They were still designing the Conqueror tank and the like at the time, and therefore this was a bit of a stopgap to try and produce something that was capable of knocking out IS-3s at long range. It was developed in the 1950s, and there's one of them still in existence at Bobingham. It's the Stage 2, of course, this version, with the turret armor. Unfortunately, it's in a rather poor state and should be given some tender love and care, but I think it's a low priority when they have actually got much better tanks to update. Now, the gun is actually a 7.2-inch gun, and I think it was originally an artillery piece, not a main gun, but 183 is the caliber. Now, the armor piercing and the HE rounds on this tank are actually fake, because the thing never actually had armor piercing or HE, and so I actually call this vehicle the HESH barn. Lots of people call it something else. I prefer not to call it that, mainly down to the fact that I think it really is. Now, he blind fired that at the enemy tanks at the other end because he thought that they might be still in the same position. Yeah, I just generally prefer not to call it the alternate name. I think some people also like to call it the HESH barn as well, because basically that's what it fired. It was a HESH firer. As you know, high explosive squash head is basically a shell which is kind of rounded. It's designed to drop a cowpat or hit an enemy tank with a cowpat of explosive, which would actually affix itself to the outside of the hull and basically detonate, causing scabs of iron to spall off the inside of the turret. Of course, spaced armor, or ERA, actually prevents HESH from doing its job properly. Of course, the Soviets came up with the idea of the explosive reactive bricks, and affix many of their tanks with these rounds, actually also to stop heat rounds, because it does have the same effect. Oh, now he was spotted, and the enemy Arty was on him like a flash. Look at that, 107 hit points. Now, there's two enemy Arty on the enemy team. One of them's a T92 HMC, and I would not be surprised if that guy tried to have a go as well, because they both know that they are capable of doing severe damage to a HESH barn if they can land a shell anywhere near it. Okay, he's trying to get a position so he can actually shoot the M103 or the Centurion if they try and poke up. He was spotted. Okay, so he has to pull back because the enemy RT is looking. Ow! So is an Object 430U, and I think that was the guy who spotted him. And yes, the T92, well, we know where he is now. He's actually in grid square J0, because the shell came straight at us. There was no angle on it at all, so we know exactly where he is. Okay, he's persuading us to go elsewhere, I think. There's the 430U that hit us. And wait for it now. Yes, beautiful. That was revenge. 1,975. And it looks like the 430's gone down. The Object 277 got him, but we took another hit from the AMX-30. And the enemy Arty's desperately trying to hit us. And we did get some stun there. But we're going to chug up here because we're not spotted right now. And there's an AMX-30 off in the distance. We're almost loaded. Standard reload 28.76 seconds. And Awppenheimer's got it down to 22.69. So he's reduced it by 6 seconds. So he's already done just under 5k of damage. And he's had the fun of actually taking out 2 enemy tanks by doping them out of existence. I thought it was 3 actually, but I thought he'd actually hit and killed the Superconch, but I don't think he actually did. Or did he? No, he did kill the Superconch, and he did kill the Progetto. He derped the Object 430U, but somebody else got the kill, the 277. Yes, that's right. Yes, it sounds like a Stevenson steam train, doesn't it, when it's moving along? Oh, somebody is in the cap area. We're not countering at the moment because an Object 268 has actually taken occupation in the copse to the north of the cap. Now the problem is getting that cap area back. Oh, now Superconch come into sight. But remember, his turret's designed to try and throw off HESH, and I'm not sure if that pre-detonated on the fence post or if it just missed the target. Well, we can take him out now. The Superconch is using, if only we can get the reload in time, we can get around through his side and possibly wipe him out with this one shot. Come on, reload. And he's gone. We didn't get the kill though. It was actually the Batchat 155-58 that got the kill, and the 268's coming in to try and kill us. Just seen north of the railway line. I can expect him to possibly pop up over that railway line. Now remember, if we pen that 268 and he's poking up, he's been spotted, his sixth sense went off, or it has gone off now. So he realizes, no, I can't go that side, I am being looked at. I have the feeling he's now decided that what he needs to do is go to the cap area. The scores are even, so we could still win this one. The enemy team has far more in the way of hit points. But I think the main problem from the enemy is that we hold the center, the trench, and their M103 is moving on our 277, but he's actually got less hit points than the 277. And the enemy Arty is trying to dislodge our 277. Now, I get the feeling that the capping person... Oh, the enemy lost their M103, and here comes the 268. So it must be the Conway that's capping. One shot kill. 1,192. You can see that Object 430U put a round right through the side of our turret. Oh, he must have been angry about that. And here comes the Arty. Missed. Didn't get it quickly enough. Top speed on this tank is only 32 kilometers an hour. It's quite heavy. It's a big gun. It wasn't really designed to move fast. It was actually designed to ambush the enemy from many miles away and take them out from cover and then retreat. I mean, yes, it's got a very big turret, very tall, and that Conway, well, he's still fairly healthy, but the Conway's got a very thin turret as well, and we can probably make a mess of him, and he can't do the same to us. Well, even if we took one shot, we would still kill the Conway. The 121's coming up as well. We sense blood in the water now because there's only 4 enemy left. And we're almost equal on hit points now. Now, a T95 is threatening the 121, but we're going to go into the cap area. All the 121 went down to the M53, M55. Say goodnight, Mr. Conway. One shot, and he's out the game. So now we start capping. Or do we? No, I think he wants a kill. He senses he can get that T95 with one round. And that's really got to worry the enemy because now they're just down to 2. The T92 HMC got wiped out. So all they've got is an M53, M55 and the T95. And it looks to me like Awppenheimer could go right along the railway line until he's ready and just blast this guy from distance. He's using the trees for cover. No, he's going to get a perfect position so he can nuke the guy from distance. Okay, let's see. Can he get around in? Trying to go for the weak spots. Yes, one shot! Now, where's that M53, M55? Last remaining enemy. We've got 5 kills. If we can take this guy out, we get a top gun. Come on, there you are. Can't fire through the building because if we do fire through the building, it will pre-detonate the shell. But we need this kill. Yes, he done it! Top Gun wins the game. Well played, Arty. I hope Awppenheimer doesn't mind me calling him RP in that one, but it was a really good game, actually. He managed to get an ace tanker off the FV4005 Stage II in that game. A spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy tanks, or maybe more, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And finally got a top gun when he took out that enemy Arty, the M53, M55, right at the end of the game. He actually fired through the truck. I think the shell went straight through the truck and out the other side and into the Arty and detonated. So rather lucky that, because actually I thought the truck would pre-detonate the shell, but apparently it didn't. So his win rate was 15,098 super unicum and a lot more. Let's have a look at team score. Highest damage, 7,427 hit points of damage. The next highest was the T95. He came close with 6,517. And the third highest damage was the Super Conqueror on the enemy team with 3,683. So that was the guy, or was it that? No, that was the one that Awppenheimer took out, I think. Was it? Yes. Just check that. Drift, yes. He took out the one who wasn't good, not the one who was good, unfortunately, on this occasion. Let's go back to the team scores and not do that because it's difficult to read. And in third place on damage turned out to be the other FV4005 on his own team, but that guy died during the battle. He got 3,134. When it came to kills, Awppenheimer got that one with 6 kills. 3 kills went to the Super Conqueror, the good one, and also to the T95 and the M53, M55 on the enemy team, and also to the Object 277 on his own team. And when it came to base XP, Awppenheimer got that one. 1,120 went to him. 1,006 went to the Batchat 155-58, who also got a Confederate in that game. And they were the only two managed to get over 1,000, with the Object 277 getting 997 base XP. The Skoda managed to lever Slayers in that game because, of course, he was killing higher tier opponents. 10 shots fired, 7 direct hits on the enemy, 6 penetrations, 1 splash. Damage of 7,427 hit points, of which 3,295 were at more than 300 meters. So it was actually very close to the targets he was shooting at, which was surprising. 2 hits received, both penetrated, I'm afraid, and 4 hits by way of splash damage to the enemy. Arty definitely wanted his scalp. And yes, the shots that he actually received were from the Object 430U. Who managed to put a round right through the center of his turret. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 6, and did 1,445 hit points of damage assistance. He also managed to get 6 defense points when he reset the cap. Now, the Hesh rounds are expensive, so no doubt about that. He actually ended up with a loss of 56,262 credits for the game, but he did earn a lot as well. The unfortunate thing is the consumables. Yes, that's where it hurt him there. So 7 bonds because this was tier 10, and 8,400 XP out of the game as well because it was a Type 5 weekend. So very good game there for Awppenheimer in the FV4005. He doesn't particularly like this tank. A lot of people do like it, mainly because of what it can actually do. The fact that it can literally take tanks out of the game with just 1 shot in the right place at the right time. So yeah, even though it's not really Awppenheimer's playstyle, he likes those tanks where you can actually you just grind out the damage bit by bit by bit. This thing you have to stay at the back because it's so vulnerable, and therefore you're looking for targets of opportunity to come into sight, whereas Awppenheimer would rather go and find those targets and nail them face to face. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.